we're assuming that with John Harbaugh out, Lamar Jackson is staying. Do not assume that. Lamar Jackson is paying close attention to what the Ravens do next. And I believe that Lamar Jackson is going to be less inclined to want to stick around if they hire somebody who's never been a head coach before. Mm-hmm. So let's just watch and see who they hire, because there's a chance Lamar's going to make a power play. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying we're going to watch this, because it's not over. It's not resolved, and it won't be until he signs another contract. He's got 2 years left. He wants a new contract. Let's see what happens next, because it's not impossible for him to want out. I don't know who would trade for him. I don't know what they would give up. I don't know what a new team would pay him. One thing that's percolating, Raiders send the first overall pick to Baltimore for Lamar Jackson. I don't know what Lamar Jackson's relationship is with Tom Brady. I don't know that the Raiders would have a plan for getting more out of Lamar Jackson than the Ravens have. But when you look at how bad the Raiders have been, this is all like relative. Like, okay, well, we've been horrible for 23 years. We'd love to be a playoff contender. We'd love to get to the postseason and lose 2 out of every 3 years. We'll sign up for that. Right? So let's just watch and wait. It may not be either or. It may be neither nor by the time it's all said and done. And that, hey, we argued about this yesterday. If I'm going to take over the Ravens and I got the chance, if that would happen, of the first overall pick, and I can draft Fernando Mendoza and start fresh and not have the ghosts of Ravens' failed seasons past hovering over me as I try to chart a new course, I'd kind of be more inclined to take that job if I knew I was getting a fresh start and I'm pushing the Harbaugh era behind me and I'm not going to be compared to Harbaugh because I don't have his quarterback and other key pieces of his team that I'm breaking in a new direction.
I think
just
there'll be
something to keep an eye on.
There'll be some coaches that maybe think that way, Mike. I don't think you're crazy in that thought. I think it could be split there. I think a majority of coaches would still go, damn, I can go somewhere and I got Lamar Jackson right off the bat. Wow. All right. But yes, to your point, is some of that other stuff that would be there percolating through some brains of some head coaches to go, wait, I don't know if I want those kind of expectations right away as I go through the door. And like you said, the Harbaugh, Ravens, Lamar Jackson pass just hovering over me all the time. Yeah, I can get that. I'm with you as far as we've been talking about this for a while, right? Again, this is where we knew in the summer that this could happen with John Harbaugh. I would say, what, Mike? What do you think? Around mid-November, we started to talk about the word on the street is we know Lamar would like to go back to Miami. I don't think anybody doubts that. I think that's the feeling in the NFL, right? So you talk about the new contract and that hovering it, and I'm not, like when you said, just sit back and wait and let's see what happens. Like that's another one. Okay, so Vegas, yeah, cool. I get it. They certainly can use somebody like him. My only thing with Vegas would be if you have to give the first pick of the draft and some other picks, man, it's going to be tough just because they have so many holes on their team, right? That's the problem with that kind of move with that kind of team, because you're like, okay, yeah, we got the quarterback, but now we have 20 other holes to fill other than Max Crosby and Brock Bowers, right? So that's the problem with that one. Miami, on the other hand, does have some pieces. They do have some things there. We know he wants to go there. I think it's the type of owner that wants that type of guy, as in what we knew he was willing to trade to get for Joe Burrow instead of having to draft Tua in that draft. What we know that he was working the back channels with his buddies to get Sean Payton and Tom Brady there because he's trying to get that kind of marquee football player down there in Miami, like a Dan Marino of the past, to go, look, my Dolphins, my quarterback, wow, this is awesome. Look at this team. And I can see them, trying to finagle something here, as we know that the Tua era is over there in Miami. But I'm with you. I certainly think we should watch out for everything you said there, man.
You got $99 million in dead cap money that the Dolphins are going to have to deal with this year and next year unless they could unload the full $54 million they owe him. Absolutely, totally, every penny guaranteed this year. I don't think the Ravens are going to want to take that on as part of a trade for Lamar Jackson. If anything, that would reduce the extra stuff. How would that work? If the Ravens take that on, they'd want even more.
Yeah, right.
It would be like the Goff-Stafford flip. You trade Tua for Lamar Jackson, and the Dolphins give up even more than they would give up just for Lamar Jackson to get you to take on Tua's $54 million.
Might have to get a third team involved. Right, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just got the potential to be a huge mess because of the Tua contract.
And what would the dead money to
of
Lamar be, Mike? Have you looked that up? I mean, that's not something, I haven't. I know I'm sitting here and we talk about this stuff all the time, but, I haven't feasibly gone down that wormhole of yet. Like, whoa, what happens? What's the ramifications for Lamar if they trade it? I got to think that would, of course, be a pretty big dead money charge to the Baltimore Ravens as well. But, yeah, weird times in Baltimore nonetheless is for all the reasons we're talking about. It's going to be interesting to see where they go and who they hire here to supplant a legend in Harbaugh.
$61 million would be the total dead cap charge if they would move on from him. If they would trade him before June 1, there would be a total charge of $61 million. But there's already $22.5 million that is on the books this year from money that he's already received.
Right.
And they've got a $74.5 million cap number with Lamar Jackson anyway.
Well, that's the problem here, right?
That increases the urgency to do a deal with Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
His cap number balloons this year and next year to $74.5 million.
That's why they need a new contract.
So they have to go to him.
Right.
They have to bring this to a head. And in the process of bringing it to a head, if all Lamar now let me not misspeak, because most of these contracts now have a clause in them that allows the team to do an automatic restructuring and push dollars into future years. The problem is there's only 2 years left on the contract. You get to a certain point where there's only so far you can push it, and you don't get that much relief. At some point, they're going to need a long-term deal to make him happy and to create a better cap situation for themselves. So my point is this. Don't assume Lamar Jackson's going to be a Raven in 2026. He could be, but let's not put it in concrete just yet. Just because Harbaugh's gone doesn't mean Lamar is staying, and it doesn't mean he wants to stay. There's still much to be determined, starting with who the head coach is. And if they hire somebody, and the current favorites are Kevin Stefanski and Jesse Minter, if they hire somebody who's never been a head coach before, that is the kind of thing that could cause Lamar Jackson to say, I'm ready for a fresh start too. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.